What's going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today we're going to talk to you about Palantir. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down on what caused a lot of volatility today and where I see things going from here. Before I get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off, Palantir did go down 3.08%, kind of getting dragged down with the broader market because NASDAQ itself was down 3.15, Dow 1.5, so the market was kind of pulling off. There was no specific news associated to Palantir really prompting this. It was just the data that came out. Plus, just seasonality, just September seems to be a very bad month over especially the last 3 years overall. And so even today you did have manufacturing data coming in at 47.2 versus a forecast of 47.5. In general, it's not that minor or that big of a miss, but essentially it does signal once again for the third consecutive report more of a contraction occurring in the broader market. And so once again, you kind of have that people on edge a little bit already. Now you're having a lot of chatter about stocks just being overinflated. Nvidia as well pulled back a significant amount. So there was just a lot of domino fear that was really kicking in. And especially even my own, like my last video on Palantir, I did say that yes, it's doing a hell of a lot of good things and got to give them credit when credit is due. But at the same time, on a technical stance, it is just way too overdone. And I still do believe that. I think last time I did a video, it was like at 32. So just to kind of put that in perspective. So nothing really specific to Palantir today, but at the same time, you did have shorts return around 85,000 shares. And currently looking through IBKR, there is a lot of shares available to be shorted, in excess of 10 million in fact. So if shorts really wanted to double down and they felt that there was going to be a significant pullback with Palantir, there's more than enough ammunition for them to really double down and kind of increase. So that's why I like to analyze this alongside many other data points. So right now, 3.01% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 58.32 million shares overall are being shorted. Utilization 0.98%. Short score is 29.84, and then cost to borrow average is 0.74%. So obviously, based on these numbers, like it's not a squeeze play. So don't get me wrong. I'm just bringing this up for analysis purposes, and it's kind of interesting the fact that there is $1.83 billion in shorts. So kind of there's more dollar value in shorts in Palantir than many stocks have a market cap. So that's kind of a fun, interesting point. As of right now, though, looking at the options, $19 million in calls, 9.59 million in puts. And you can kind of see some very big outliers right here. So $1 million just between the 11.10 and 11.15, and roughly around 649,000 between that 11.20 and 11.25. I did do a post on Twitter just about that because that stood out, and that did signal $26 as a strike. So ultimately big money, because I don't think retail is doing these transactions, is feeling that Palantir is going to hit $26. So that's kind of something just to, once again, keep in mind. No matter what, though, options is just more of a sentiment. It does not move the stock price. So kind of just be aware of that. So of the call options that were purchased today, you do see a consensus for it to be kind of above that $33 range. So that's more so piggybacking off the Elliott Wave technicals, which as of right now, quickly pop over to IBKR. It does have a pivot point of $28.10, and for as long as it is above that, which right now it still is anticipated to get between that $36 and $38 range. So still a lot of optimism based on that. No new analyst ratings, as you can kind of see. Last one was done 12 days ago. Prior to that was 25 days ago. $38 buy by Daniel Ives, who is kind of the poster child of, and the biggest cheerleader, I guess, if you want to call it that, of Palantir. But again, that's where those call options are kind of coming from based on this. Based on, or at least looking at the puts, you do see a consensus for it to be kind of sub $28 for this upcoming week. And then right here, this is that large amount. So $26 by November 15th. So yeah, definitely something that one stood out, and this is why I did do a post on social media. One thing as well that I've noticed, and I brought this up in my last video, is the level of buying. So these are all the transactions occurring on the secondary market above $100,000. and regrettably you're seeing quite a lot of selling. So everything that does show as a bid is a sell. So there was a lot of selling that was done today, and even in general, just the frequency of buys, so these are all the transactions from Friday, is lower. So big money is not really looking at Palantir. So once again, coming and kind of validating just the level of fear in the market overall. These are all the transactions that did occur on the dark pool. So dark pool is often enough linked to shorting and just other large entities. A couple big ones, so 1.34 million in one transaction, 1.22, and quite a lot. And my apologies, I do go through this relatively fast. It's more so just to kind of bring up a point rather than anything. But as of right now though, with it closing at $30.51, it is trading between these 2 points, so the pivot and the R1. So 28.61 will be the strong support. Coincidentally, it is roughly that pivot point for that elite wave technicals, and then $33.16 is going to be that next strong resistance slash target. Very wide gap, so anticipate a continuation of volatility in the foreseeable future. On the actual chart itself, so today luckily it did hold in the higher percentile. I'll move this over so you guys can see. So it is higher percentile right here. So given if there is going to be more of a continuation of a sell-off tomorrow, which tomorrow is going to be more of a technical driven day, it might push it to the lower percentile. Still though, above that 50-day moving average and a lot of the other key ones. Stochastic though, you do see it at 40. So if it does continue on the status quo, it will be considered rather oversold, which is kind of a quick 180 from what happened. It looks like mid-August, give or take, and number of retail investors have been getting out, and just in general the number of buyers. So yeah, I still do feel, nothing against Palantir, it's just more so to do with broader technicals and just the data points, macro events, because I still do feel Palantir is going to be a phenomenal, massive growth stock. But because of just everything that's been going on, I feel like there is a pullback that is necessary, and probably that $28 range will be at least touched, bounced off of, and then dependent on the data that is coming out on Thursday and Friday, that might be that deciding point to really push it lower into kind of this range, so this S1 and the pivot. So that's where I do feel, at least like 1 month out, where it will be. But Palantir is a crazy volatile stock. Sometimes it does not make any sense, and it just says, F you, the market, I'm going higher, and it does what it wants. So let me know your thoughts on Palantir. What have you been doing? Have you been buying? Have you been selling? Have you been doing options? I myself, when it was a little bit higher, I did sell some actual calls at 32.50 strike for this upcoming Friday just to collect some premiums, but nothing really crazy aside from that. So what have you guys been doing? One final thing, take advantage of this promo. Simply sign up for a new account, throw $100 at it. They give you 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. So this is a kick-ass deal. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.